Friends, family, fans, welcome back 9 bits. We are back again. I did Ragbri last week, which is riding across Iowa with 15,000 other people for 7 days straight, 430 miles. We did it. My butt hurts, my legs hurt, but we back in the podcasting saddle and we are doing this. The saddle of the podcast worlds are so much better. So just thought I'd share that with you guys. Welcome back to Back 9 Bets. It's been a fantastic journey. It's episode 33. Kiss me. Wyndham Championship. It's going to be a banger. Let me get this off. I got the Cam Smith polo in. Yes. Bought one of those right after he won the Open because why not? He is a gangster and he wins us money. Also, if you're not drinking Bud Light hard seltzers, hard sodas, you're missing out if you got yourself a little sweet tooth. So get yourself some of that action. And while I'm selling you a whole bunch of nonsense, go check out rotoballer.com. We are presented by rotoballer.com. They have DFS cheat sheets, Spencer Aguilar's articles, Joe Nicely's articles, all of that beautiful stuff you can find out there. Lineup optimizers, the whole shebang. You can get it for 50% off right now. If you use the code MANIAC, you can get another 10% off. Just go to rotoballer.com/radio and get yourself rotoballing like a boss. Do it. Don't listen to me. Just do it because it makes sense. Awesome stuff out there. Awesome articles too. That's what's cooking here today. We got the Wyndham Championship. Your boy's back in the saddle. It's going to be a fun one. The last time I was behind the microphone or the camera, Hideki Matsuyama let us down in a big way. Hopefully Kevin Kisner doesn't do that this week. Let's see what we got going on now. Let's see what we have going on. It is Sedgefield Country Club. And right off the bat, just immediately off the bat, we've got 11% accuracy more than to average. Typically, to average 0.25. The numbers tell us 0.36 is where you want to go when it comes to accuracy off the tee. The short hitters, the Luke Donalds, the Ryan Armours, who's not even in the field anymore, that sucks. It's one of my favorite golfers to bet on for top 40s. But anyway, strokes gained approach, not as important, but still, if you follow this channel, you know we are all about the irons. All about the irons. Off the tee, important. 3% more than to average. And then putting. Putting is essential this week. You're going to be hitting more greens in regulation than normal. But these greens are tricky. They're tricky AF. All right? You don't want to be messing around on these greens. You need good putters. So we're going to be weighting a lot of putting into our model this week. And then the simple life of Paris Hilton. Not sure where that came from, but anyway. As you can see over here, we've got a casual 61% of shots taking place from 125 yards to 200 yards. This is what's happened over the last 4 years. It is gospel. Nothing changes in golf. I'm just joking. It obviously can. As you can see, the 150 to 175 has got a little less proximities over the years. So it's slowly decreased. Interesting things there. Maybe people are hitting further. Anyway, we know that this area right here, 125 to 200, 6 out of 10 shots come from that zone. And we want our guys to do the very best from that area. So that being said, let's jump to the quick model situation. We are now in August. June, July, August. Yeah, it's August. So we've got 70% of 2022 stats kicking butt for us over here with 30% of last year's stats rolling in the backside. This course is very, very, very dependent on course history. So we got that for 10%. It's one of the stickiest golf courses out there. Just want you to be aware of that. And then we've got 10% official world golf ranking, 10% there. And then the last 24 rounds for recent history, recent form, give us another 10%. And then 70% of stats, which is this over here. will make up the rest of the model maniacs mayhem that we've got going on. 15% strokes gained approach baseline, 4% approach over the last 24 rounds, and then we just divvied up those percentages for another 20% down at the bottom. As you can see, we've got a good 12% there between 125 and 200. So that's what we like to see. We want our guys firing from that yardage right there. Around the green, with them hitting so many greens at this venue, not that important. Just a little bit of sprinkle action there on the around the green stuff, and then 15% for total putting. We've got baseline putting for 5. We've got Bermuda. They're playing on Bermuda grass this week. 5% Bermuda over the last 50 rounds, and then 5% just who's putting well right now over the last 24 rounds. Then scores get up to the 20s, the 16s, the 18s, the 21s, the whole shebang. Birdie or better percentage, essential. Got to make birdies to get to 20 under par. So 15% birdie or better percentage, 4% for the 2 par 5s that are out on this golf course. Not that long of a course. Strokes gained off the tee, like we saw earlier, it was kind of important, but we only have 4% there because we went big, went really big. 15% for strokes gained accuracy. There's no such thing as strokes gained accuracy, but we're just using accuracy as a benchmark, which is a stat. It can be a little misleading, so just be careful when you go in. If there's a big bomber that you like and his accuracy is not very good, that's okay. Go check out his proximity numbers from 250 plus or 225 plus. He can probably stripe a 2-iron down the fairway, 260 in the middle. His accuracy is going to take a beating if he's going to hit at 330. So chill out, be smart about what you're doing. But we have accuracy that's a big factor in our model, along with good drives gained, which means if you hit it somewhere in the fairway and then on the green, you get a good star for being on the green. That equals a good drive gained. Now we've got the model. Let's take a look-see at what we got going on over here. Will Zalatoris leads the top of this model at a casual $10,900 on DraftKings. He's the number 1 ranked model, maniac, man, up here. And why? Just look at this. The last 24 rounds coming into this field, Will Zalatoris is the best. The last 24 rounds ball striking, he is the best. He is also the best approach player in this field. He's also the second best approach player over the last 24 rounds. He also makes the 3rd most amount of birdies in this field, which is obviously why he's at the top of the leaderboard. So, Will Zalatoris, 10,900 smackaroos, kind of steep for a DFS guy, but we like him, especially if he's going to be 12%. Now, these ownership numbers down the left-hand side here, please take them with a grain of salt. It's been a long day. Your boy's been grinding away in the accounting world. It's month end. It sucks. So, haven't updated these accounting/ownership numbers for the last little bit. Take them with a grain of salt. They're obviously going to change over the next while. But it doesn't look like he is going to be that owned. 12%. What do we like about Willie Z? The thing is, he's been playing sensational golf. Is he going to win one soon? Is he going to win one here? This course doesn't necessarily match up perfectly to his game, where he hits it far off the tee, hits those long irons well, and then makes those longer putts. Also, when putting is essential, I'm not sure if we want a guy whose base putting is 123rd in this field. However, he is 56th when it comes to Bermuda surfaces. So he's 67 spots better when it comes to putting on Bermuda. We don't have anything for Will Zalatoris. The outrights are too spendy, but we'll go there. 10-9. I don't mind checking out a Will Zalatoris, especially if he's going to be under 15%. Let's do it. I'm a big fan. The guy makes a ton of birdies. He's playing much better golf than he was when he showed up on tour last year. Look at this. It's just blue boxes across the top here, pink boxes, blue boxes. The guy just lights up the top row. Sign us up for Will Zalatoris. Everything about his game screams yes. The price, a little spendy. People don't necessarily go to the top guy. Webb Simpson, on the other hand, is all the way down here in the 8th spot in the model, and he's 10-7. And he's going to be about the same percentage owned as Willie Z. And if you look at Webb Simpson's last 24 rounds, he's 38th in the field in strokes gained total over the last 24 rounds. So he's going to be coming to Sedgefield, where he named his daughter after the Wyndham Championship. Lord help them if they ever change the name of this tournament. He might have to change the name of his daughter, but I rest my case. Anyway, we'll get to Webb. Russell Henley is second in the model. He's a freak show. His ball striking is fourth in general. It's been a little sketchy lately for Russell Henley standards. He's 16th, which is still very nice. Off the tee is even nicer. He's 69th right there. Then, off the tee of the last 24 rounds, he's 32nd. So, Russell Henley's problem is distance. Okay. He doesn't necessarily whatever that word is. He doesn't necessarily get it out there. Doesn't hit it very far, but he's super accurate. Good drives gained, he's 7th in this field, which is very, very nice, considering he actually does hit it kind of. He's not the worst. He's not the worst when it comes to distance. I mean, he's 84th, which is still kind of below average in this field. However, he's so good when it comes to accuracy. His approach play second to Willie Z. At one point, Russell, when he was playing really good golf, was the best approach player in the almost in the world. You know, like the guy could just dial it in. He's an elite approach player. So he makes a ton of birdies as well because he just hits it so stiff. Hits it so stiff all the time. He has a fantastic history here. He's 7th when it comes to history at the Wyndham. So let's do that. Russell Henley is going to be our first bet for a top 20 at plus 145 on FanDuel. I think I saw it's still a 140 out there. Whatever, go grab it. I think Russell Henley plus 140 is going to be a good bet. The guy plays fantastic golf at this venue. It suits his game fantastically. He also played very nicely last week. So hopefully he comes through and takes care of business for us. We really like that at 20% ownership. Probably going to leave Russell Henley alone and go elsewhere for DFS. Maybe like a Corey Connors, which is $200 cheaper and probably going to be 5% less owned than Russell because he doesn't necessarily have the same course history that Russ the Bus Flush City has. But that's okay. Excuse me. The cherry cola is coming to haunt me. I should not have gone so hard at the paint at the beginning of the episode, but it is what it is. Anyway, Corey Connors, the third-ranked golfer in our model, is going to be our second top 20 bet at plus 140 on Caesars. That nasty green and gold color is Caesars Sportsbook, and it is plus 140 for a Corey Connors top 20. His strokes gained total baseline is 4th in this field. His recent form is 12th, which is not too shabby, and he's one of the better ball strikers as well. This guy can hit a fairway with his eyes closed. He's just ridiculous. Look at the distance there. Not a short guy, but not one of the longer dudes, and he still gains off the tee. Look at this. He's 49th in this field in distance, but in strokes gained off the tee, he's 3rd, which just highlights how insanely accurate he is. He's 17th in accuracy, 5th in good drives gained, and his iron play is phenomenal. Kind of like this Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, Black Cherry, or like rotoballer.com. Go check those people out. Yeah, they are awesome too. We got a crappy-ish history at this venue, which I'm not too concerned about. Corey Connors. And what we really want to talk about Corey Connors is he used to be Team No Putt. This dude is 30th in the field over the last 24 rounds in putting. And he's slowly creeping his way up into the baseline thing where he's 50th in the field in putting. Corey Connors used to be an atrocious putter, and now he's putting better. He's putting kind of good, actually. So sign us up for a Corey Connors top 20 plus 140. Hello, bang, bang. We've got one of the best ball strikers at a course that requires accuracy off the tee, really good approach play. Let's see here. I mean, he's okay from that proximity numbers, but his baseline approach play has been sensational. And the funniest thing is you always see these good ball strikers, whenever their putting starts getting better, their ball striking starts deteriorating a little bit. So hopefully now that he's put all the hard work in on his putter, he's going to resort back to his baseline performance. And I think Corey Connors is going to be a great play this week. Sung J M couldn't get there. The best number for a Sung J M top 20 was -105. We don't bet negative numbers here on back nine bets, folks. And you know what? It wouldn't even have worked because it would have to be like plus 140 if he's the fourth, 130 if he's like the fourth guy in the model. So the value wasn't there for Sanjay, and he is a $10,500 guy, 20% owned. He has sensational course history at this venue. It's obvious why he does so well here because he just hits it in the fairway, hits it on the green, makes his fair share of putts. Now, Sanjay hasn't been putting too hot lately. He has not been putting too hot lately. He does no good on Bermuda. But anyway, we don't even going to talk about Sanjay because he's in orange, and that means chalk for DFS. We don't even have him for an outright. We don't have him for a whatever you call it. So we're going to move along. We'll go to Shane Lowry, who, if he is 5% less than Sanjay Im, ownership-wise, we're not going to get anywhere near Shane Lowry -150. Jeez, that's for a top 20. No, thank you. Not going there. However, I do think Shane is a good play this week. I mean, look at the stroke, his recent form, his baseline form, his ball striking form, his current ball striking. All of it is beautiful. The only drawback for Shane Lowry right now is his putting. And he's coming to a venue that we have to putt well. And now, I don't know. Does that challenge him a bit more? Does it really get his Irish genes going? Because he's typically a good putter, but he's 97th in the field over the last 24 rounds. So what are we really doing with Shane Lowry doing that kind of putting? We've got really three guys that are outside the top 90, inside the top 5 of our model, which is kind of crazy considering we have 15% of our model waiting in putting. But that's okay. These guys are premium ball strikers. You know, putting can change in a whim. So Shane Lowry is definitely going to be a play for DFS. 10-6, sign us up. 15% owned, sign us up. If it's anything less than Sanjay by about 5%, let's rock and roll, dude. Let's rock and roll. Him and Billie Jean Horschel are going to be two guys that we might eye out here, especially if their ownership remains significantly less than Sanjay in the $10,000 range. Couldn't get to a Billy Horschel top 20 at plus 130, but that's okay. Let's see what the value would have been for these other guys because I can actually just do that. Can I? Why is it not doing that? Anyway, whatever. Life goes on. So we know we can't bet them. Aaron Wise, on the other hand, is going to be beneath Billy Horschel, who's also got a very, very good course history. And he's one of the best golfers in the world. I think he's like 13th in the world. So Billy Horschel definitely deserves a bit of credit at the top of the board here. And at 10-3, he's going to be spendy. He's going to be right underneath Sanjay. So if you like a big Billy Ho week, let's go with Billy Ho. I think he's going to be a good play. It might be a nice pivot with him and Shane Lowry. I don't know. These are just guys. I'm not going to play all three guys in the top in the 10K range. Geez, you're going to have to. It's difficult to do that, but I do like those three. I like Willie Z. I like Shane. I like Billy. Keep an eye on the ownership, especially if Willie Z is closer to 10%. Holy cow, why not go there? Then we've got Aaron Wise, folks, is $8,100. He's the 7th ranked golfer in my model. And guess what the hell is going on here? His last 24 rounds have been second in this field. What are we doing? He's $8,100, 12% owned currently. Maybe he's going to be more than that. Call it 15. I'm still super chilled doing that. If we're going to do this quickly, we're going to go find Aaron Wise all the way down here. And he's sitting between JT. Oh, beautiful. Love to see that. He's right underneath JT Poston, who's a very, very popular play, who's been playing good golf, won at this venue before. But I think Aaron Wise is a much better ball striker than JT. Off the tee, definitely. On approach, they kind of close over the last little while, but typically Aaron Wise is a premier ball striker if you were looking at the whole year, which is what you want to bet on a guy. When you have a guy that's been good at something for the whole year, that means it's probably just going to continue. JT, I don't know. There's a good chance he can resort back to what he was doing. Maybe he's found some confidence after winning the John Deere. Who the heck knows? But nothing about his game screams like it's going to be that good. So just a little heads up when you're kind of picking guys. Aaron Wise is the guys that you want to be picking. And he's playing fantastic golf. Outside of Willie Z, he's got the second best strokes gain total coming into this event over the last 24 rounds. What more do you want? 50% Aaron Wise. Lock his ass in. We've got him for a top 20 at plus 175 on FanDuel. This dude is a baller. Shout out to my guy Ryan Noonan. He's a big, big Aaron Wise fan. And I am too this week. Everything about his game. The putting has been a major issue. However, over the last 24 rounds, he's 33rd in the field, just kind of like Corey Connors. He's made a bit of a bounce back. So we can see what he gets up to. He also historically putts better on Bermuda grass compared to his baseline. So that's also nice. He makes a crap ton of birdies. And the history at this venue is kind of iffy. But if you've got a crap history here, I think what you really want to zone in on is if there's a guy that's got good course history, then you're cool with that. If there's a crap course history, I'm not too concerned. Actually, I might be more favored to play that guy because less people will play him because it's a very sticky wicket, to coin a cricket term. But when it comes to this kind of venue, course history plays a big role. So you're going to have to dodge the course history guys. And we've got Webb Simpson down here underneath Aaron Wise, who in our model, not in DFS rankings, they're a casual $2,600 apart, even though Aaron has been playing remarkably better golf than Webb Simpson over the last little while. So anyway, Webb Simpson, we discussed Webb Simpson on the DFS BetSpurt podcast earlier. Go check that out. I'm not going to get into Webb that much, other than if his ownership gets lower than 10%, and if we think it's trending in that direction, because I know a lot of people have been saying, well, I'm not going to play Webb. I know there's some big guys on podcasts that are saying nothing about his form means that he's going to be playing well this week at a course that he's played exceptionally at throughout his entire life. He's only won once, but he's finished inside the top 10 more times than whatever you can think of. He's probably done them all. So Webb Simpson is a horse for the course. He's got the best course history in this field. Legit the best course history in this field. And if he goes into the single digits, I might flirt with that. I might. And I think it's heading that way. A lot of people are suggesting not to play Webb. Maybe we play him. Because, look, you don't even have to play that much. If he's under 10% owned, you only have to play him in like 30% of your lineups. Maybe he gets to 15. Only 30%. You got a guy that can be inside the top 10 every single time you play. We've got a lot of guys we like down in the 7K range. Not worried about his price tag. I'm not that big of a guy that kind of gets beat up about the price of someone. Sometimes when they're super expensive, I actually prefer it because then I'll go there. I don't know why. That's just what I do. Now, if you play Mark Hubbard, who is our first outright of the podcast. Mark Hubbard, welcome to the podcast, my dude. 70-1 Mark Hubbard, plus 330 for a top 20. Yes, he is going to be shining like a diamond for us. He's 18th over the last 24 rounds in strokes gained total, which means his form is beautiful. Off the tee, recently, over the last 12 rounds, been fantastic. Now, he's one of the shorter hitters in this golf course. So, on this field, coming to a course that you don't have to hit it that far, let's freaking go, Mark Hubbard. His accuracy off the tee, beautiful. Good drives gained, beautiful. Look at these proximity numbers over the last 24 rounds. He's second in the field when it comes to, He's second in the field when it comes to hitting from 125 to 200 yards over the last 24 rounds. And he's seventh in the field generally, baseline. Love to see that. His approach play over the last 12, 16th, last 24, 6th, Baseline, 12th. We love good iron players. Guess what? Mark Hubbard is also a very good putter. Not necessarily the best putter on Bermuda. However, he's a very good putter in general. So we can get some seriously good vibes from Mark Hubbard. I don't know if we want to roll there at 14, 15%. Probably going to even go up because he's $7,900. A lot of people like him. I don't know if we're going to go there, but we can get him for plus 330 on FanDuel to finish inside the top 20. Mark Hubbard is designed for this golf course, folks. He's designed for this golf course. He's designed to win this thing. Homeless Hubs. He's going to do it. Off the tee, that's the only thing that's really holding him back, and it's the distance. He's 143rd in this field. Yeah. So it's time. It's go time, hubby. Let's see what you can do. Then we've got Kevin Kisner, 40-1. Hello, Kiz. Kiz me, if you don't mind. $8,700, 9% owned in DFS as well. Yes. Let's go. He won this event last year. Now, he was in a 6-man playoff, so he probably just basically finished inside the top 10 if he doesn't win this thing. But who cares about that? He's also one of the shorter hitters on tour. But look at the accuracy and good drives gained. 15th and 23rd in this field, one of the better performers there. He's typically not the best approach player. As you can tell, the model's not a big fan of long-term suckers who don't know how to hit their irons. But Kiz, on the other hand, has been actually doing better. He's about half. He's 111th in baseline approach, and he's actually 57th over the last 12 rounds, 63rd over the last 24. So his irons are getting better, and he's typically the 125 to 200 baseline is 69th in this field. So the last 24 rounds from that distance, not looking so hot, but we know that his baseline is actually pretty solid from that area. Much better than his actual iron play. So if we can get Kiz to do all the right things, he's going to win this thing again. Yes, he is. Kiz, me, putting baseline, 6th. Last little while of putting. Disgusting. Now, it hasn't been, we've kind of gone away from Bermuda grass over the last little while. We've been doing a lot of Ben Gents episodes. Now, we've got Bermuda grass on the greens. Kisner is 5th in this field over the last 50 rounds, putting on Bermuda. He's right back at home. The greens are massive. You know he can drain a putt from anywhere. His course history is 5th in this field. He makes the 21st amount of most about birdies on this field. Life is good for the Kiz at whatever the name of this golf course is that I forgot that I've mentioned several times already. Something about Ridge. But anyway, we're playing at the Wyndham. We know that. So, Kisner, definitely sign us up outright, 40-1. Let's rock and roll Kevin Kisner. Also, definitely playing him in DFS if he's anywhere in the low teens even. Take it. Harold Varner, if you watch this show enough, you know Harold Varner is part of the back 9 bets blacklist. Moving on. Although his stuff looks good. A lot to like about HV3, but we don't do him here. Justin Rose, on the other hand, folks, is going to be a little sneaky play. Got nothing in the betting market, but DFS-wise, Justin Rose, a former South African, born in South Africa, moved to England, just like the majority of those people. From 125 to 200 over the last 24 rounds, he's first in this field. From 125 to 200 over the last 2 years, 70% 2022, 30% 21. He's first in this field in proximity from those distances. No wonder he's got a 25th rank course history here. That's okay. We'll take a 25. He's not the best putting on Bermuda, but he's a very, very good putter. And his baseline putting is good, and his recent putting is good. We'll take our chances. Big greens. Justin Rose, putting, sign us up. He's okay off the tee, like whatever there, blah, blah, blah. But that proximity numbers, this guy's going to be dialed. If he's in the fairway, he is going to be dialed. So sign us up at an 8K Justin Rose, round about 10%. Hello. Let's see what he can get up to. The same goes for Adam Scott, who's 13th in the model, and his approach play is just spectacular as well. Typically not the best from 125 to 200, but lately he has been very, very good. All of his approach numbers are inside the top 13 over the last 12, 24, and baseline years. So love to see that from him. He's typically a very, very good putter, and we'll see what he can get up to. That 68th, that 68th ranked putting over the last 24 rounds is probably because of last week, where he absolutely shot. He shot a 78. A professional golfer by the name of Adam Scott shot 78 at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Rocket Mortgage Classic, where Tony Finau shot minus 25. Adam Scott made the cut and shot a 78. Life goes on, but look at this course history for Adam. I wonder if it's got to do with anything to do with his proximity numbers. I wonder if it's got anything, just whatever it's going. $9,200, 12% owned. Sign us up for Adam Scott. Let's do it. Christian Bezuidenhout, 55-1 on FanDuel, the next winner of this event. We've got 5, and they're going to all win this thing. 5-man playoff between Bezzy, Mark Hubbard, Kevin Kisner, and 2 to-be-determined individuals that I'm very familiar with. So Bezzy is the same situation. Look at his proximity numbers from 125 to 200. I don't know what it's got to do with anything, but he's got a limited sample size. Yes, I understand that. The PGA Tour website's goofy. But Bezzy is going to be beautiful this week. He is one of the best putters on tour. He can absolutely spike when it comes to putting. He can absolutely spike when it comes to approach play. Give us all the Bezzy. Give us everything. If he hits his irons well and he hits his putter in the hole like he can, he's shown us at the AT&T Byron Nelson and the John Deere Classic, he can go into the teens when it comes to score. He used to be a tough golf course kind of guy. Might not happen this week, but we know for a fact that he can do it. And he's done it twice quite recently. So we love that about Bezzy. 55-1, 9% owned, $8,400. Let us go. Give us all the Bezzy in DFS. Give us all the Bezzy in the outright market. Then give us even more Brendan Todd in the betting market. Plus 130 for a top 40. And I'll tell you why. We're going to go with a top 40 instead of a top 20, because we can get Brendan Todd for about a plus 300 for a top 20. But I really like him for a top 40 because he's banking on his approach play to get better, which does not look like it is. But he is one of the best putters on tour. He is. He legit is. And he's also one of the most accurate drivers of the golf ball. He's 5th in accuracy, 8th in good drives gained. Sign us up for Brendan Todd. This guy's a freak show when it comes to accuracy. He's about as accurate with his putter as he is with his driver, which is ridiculous to think about, considering he's one of the best. He's got a fantastic course history. He's $7,500, 6% owned. Give us all the Brendan Todd. When his irons aren't good, he's still making the cut because he can putt just that well. He's always in the fairway. So that's why we like a top 40. If the irons don't fire, he can still get in there. We'll play him for DFS, then we can reap his upside if his irons fire. But if not, we're betting him plus 130 on DraftKings for a top 40. I love it. I was looking. Whenever he's lost with his irons, he still makes the cut somehow. So love Brendan Todd. Absolutely love him. Tyrrell Hatton, on the other hand, $9,400. He's going to be one of the lower owned guys, and rightfully so, because if you've watched the show enough, you know there's only 2 people we've blacklisted, and they've both lost us, me and you, if you followed the bets. 10 units apiece. Tyrrell Hatton and Harold Varner III lost us a combined 20 units last year. A combined 20 units betting Tyrrell Hatton and Harold Varner. We made 53 units last year. Could have made 73 units if we just didn't bet those bozos. Anyway, moving on to Brian Harman, who's 12% owned, $8,300. Don't have much to talk about him. As we get down here, I'm going to start skipping to the guys with the colors. Kevin Streelman is 10%, $7,600. He's a model guy. He's kind of like a Russell Henley vibey guy where the model likes his game. I actually walked with his brother around the John Deere Classic. His brother actually bought me a beer after I watched Kevin Streelman make a hole-in-one right in front of me. It was the most nonchalant hole-in-one you've ever seen in your life. But he's just so solid across the board. Everything about his game is solid until the putter gets nasty. But what I like the most about Streelman, and it seems a lot of people like it too, at 10% owned, holy buckets, is he plays pretty well on Bermuda grass. He's, in fact, 70 positions better when it comes to putting on Bermuda than it is on all surfaces. And for a guy that's got exceptional ball striking for a $7,600 guy, maybe we go there a little bit. He's burnt us in the past. It's a shorter golf course. He's not necessarily the longest guy in the world. Let's do a little bit of Kevin Streelman. Keep an eye on the ownership. If it gets much more than 10%, I don't know if we're going to go there. Okay, moving on swiftly. Let's scroll down the board. Siwoo, very popular course history guy, 11th in course history, has some sensational rounds around you. Says it's his favorite golf course. Denny McCarthy as well, $8,900, 14% owned. I don't know, man. I think he's going to be quite popular. A lot of people like him. Davis Riley, on the other hand, is 8K and 9% owned. And this guy was finishing inside the top 20 like 5 straight events in a row. Then just had a really bad hole last week, missed the cut because he made a 9 on a par 5. Not ideal. That's okay. People are going to think he sucks. Look at this ball striking over the last 24 rounds. He's second in the field, folks. He's 8K. From a ball striking standpoint, we've got Will Zalatoris, who's 10-9. And then we got Davis Riley, who's 8K. So he's almost $3,000 cheaper than Willie Z. And he's slightly behind him on the ball striking front. And guess what? Davis Riley doesn't do too bad. Recently, the putting has been atrocious, but he's typically a very good putter. And he makes the most birdies in the field. I don't know why I don't have Davis Riley as an outright. I think he's going to be one of the first Korn Ferry Tour guys to win. If it's not Cameron Young, it's going to be him. We'll see. Really, really like him. And I'm not sure. I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I think I might find a Davis Riley number and bet him because he's lining up very well. But either way, we're going to bet him, going to put him in the DFS lineups for shizzle. Absolutely going to be in the DFS lineups. First time playing this venue. That's okay. Let's do it. Vaughn Taylor, $6,400, 3% owned. And he's plus 430 on FanDuel for a top 40. Don't you just love betting a top 40 that's plus 430? Like that is, John Rahm was plus 300 to win the golf tournament out in Mexico. You can bet Vaughn Taylor to finish inside the top 40 at more odds than that. Sign us up. What do we like about Vaughn Taylor? He's one of the shortest hitters on the tour. Whatever. But he's one of the most accurate hitters you can ever find. Then when it comes to those proximity numbers from 125 to 200, Vaughn Taylor is 13th and 4th in respective time frames. Love to see that from the guy. He's also not the worst putting on Bermuda, and his course history is very ass because I don't think 57th means much. But there's 150 odd people in this field. He has to beat 3/4 of them at plus 430. He's 23rd in the model. Let's go. Vaughn freaking Taylor. Also $6,400, 3% owned. Put him in the player pool. Let's go. Let's go, Vaughn Taylor. Next up, Adam Svensson. Got him to 100-1 on Caesars. Shout out to my boy Eli. We almost did not let me get 100-1. I almost went on an 80-1 somewhere else. But still get Svensson out there for like 80 or 70. I love him. I love him on a short golf course. I love what he can do from the 125 to 200, and his putter has been sensational lately. He makes a lot of birdies, and he's got a decent course history here. I think his game has improved. He's not the same guy he was last year when he played here. And he's 25th in the field over the last 24 rounds entering this week. So at 15% ownership, I think we're going to leave him alone. Couldn't get him to plus 120 for a top 40. You needed it like a plus 135 to get there. But we're gonna bet him outright. Why not? Plus 100. Let's go. Adam Svensson. Scott Stallings, on the other hand, has finished. He's just so good. I love Scott Stallings' game right now. Look at this approach play. Holy buckets, people. It's only getting better. 17th baseline, 4th over the last 24 rounds, and 2nd over the last 12 rounds. Scott Stallings. The guy is the next Justin Thomas. I'm just joking. He's not. But what we do like is Scott Stallings is 12th over the last 50 rounds putting on Bermuda. Let's do that. Yes. Hello. Hello, Scott. And he's 36th in birdie or better percentages. So $7,800. I think he actually deserves to be further up the board when it comes to salary. So I'll eat that ownership. I'll definitely eat that ownership. You're going to pick your battles. I love Scott Stallings. He's been playing fantastic golf. The accuracy and good drives gained off the tee doesn't concern me as much as you should think, because someone that can hit their irons this well, if he's hitting some long irons off the tee at a shorter golf course like this, I think he's going to be in perfect shape. And then we've got Joel Damon. I'm starting to lose a bit of juice. We're going to wrap it up here soon. But Joel Damon is $7,100, 2% owned. Yes, let's go. He's also plus 170 on FanDuel to finish inside the top 40. Let's go. What is Joel Damon's secret recipe? Accuracy and good drives gained. He plays really, really good golf on the shorter golf courses. His approach play can spike. The last 24 and last 12 rounds aren't that fancy, but when he hits his irons well, he hits them really, really well. And guess what? He's going to a venue that he hits wedges and slightly long irons inside 200 yards better than a fifth of the field. He's 33rd and 34th from 125 to 200. So let's go. The putting, who the heck knows what's going to happen, but look at that Bermuda over the last 50 rounds. 76 spots better than his baseline putting. 50 rounds on Bermuda is a lot, and baseline putting is a lot. So that's a massive sample size, and it's 76 spots better. That's remarkably better on Bermuda. Sign us up for Joel Damon, plus 170 for a top 40, $7,100 for a freaking DFS play who's going to be barely owned. He's 26th in the model. Let's go. Let's go. Joel freaking Damon. Ryan Armour, not in the field anymore. Not going to talk about him. Russell Knox is a guy that I'm not. He's also got extremely good ball striking. Extremely good ball striking. Horrible short game. Moving on. Chris Gotterup is another guy I'm going to be keeping my eye on. He's been all that jazz lately, and now people aren't going to go back to him. He's $6,600, 5% owned. He was Chalk City the last few weeks, and now he has one bad round, and we all off him. Let's go back to him now. Let's do it. He's sensational, dude. This is one of the best college players to come out of college in a while. He's been playing some good golf. So that's what we're going to do with Chris Gotterup. And then Harris English is another guy that's coming off an injury that we really want to go to. Got a sensational short game. Hasn't hit it far since he's had his surgery. Now comes to a course that he doesn't have to hit it that far. If he can get his irons firing, like we know he can, the recent irons not so hot, but the baseline is there. We know he's a good iron player. All it takes is for it to click. If he's going to be 5% owned at $7,300, play him in 15, 20% of your lineups, 15%, whatever. He's got that upside to win a golf tournament for you. Hayden Buckley is doing the decade golf thing now. I think I spoke to Joe Idoni last night about that. Look at the ball striking. 10th baseline, 10th of the last 24 rounds. This guy's a baseline ball striking behemoth. He's good stuff. Off the tee, good stuff. Accuracy, good drives gained, good stuff. He's not even doing it with distance, and he's still inside the top 12 in all 12 weeks, 12 rounds, 24 rounds baseline. The guy's a freak, man. The putting, baseline, very, very good. It's the chipping that's a big problem. And recently, it seems like the putting as well. And he's not too bad he's very bad on Bermuda. But all it takes is one good week of putting, and you've got this guy who's $6,900 and he's a ball striking freak show. Let's go. $6,900. I'll take a bad putt at that price. 6% owned. Who gives a rip? Whatever. We know we don't play chalk at the top that much, so I'm okay not even getting too freaky without Hayden Buckley. Rory Sabatini, my man Ron Klaas, on the BetSpurts podcast we did earlier, likes Rory. And guess what? Rory's birdie or better percentages is pretty good, and his course history is 12th in this field. Let's go with Rory, the Czechoslovakian, South African, Texan guy. Wherever he lives now, Lord bless his soul. Andrew Putnam, very similar situation. Very accurate off the tee. The approach play can be good. Hasn't been so good recently, but the short game, sexy. Andrew Putnam, 7K, 3% owned. Jason Day, blah de blah. Nick Taylor, Alex Smalley, three guys I really like down here. They're in the middle of this, what you might call it. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. I don't have the energy to speak about any of these guys apart from maybe Chase Seaford and Zach Johnson. Just going to mention their names. Anaban Lahiri's also got some very nice off the tee stuff lately going on. Don't know what's going on there. But that's it for me, folks. I had a long day. I'm burnt out. I'm running out of juice. Thanks for watching. Check out therotoballer.com/radio. Go get your 50% off and use code MANIAC for an extra 10. We've got lots of golf coming up. See, I'm repeating myself. We've got the playoffs, and then we've got the fall swing. You know I'm going to be back for the fall swing. That's where you make money. That's when you get the guys that aren't the best. People aren't enthused. We go make money still. So, lots going on. Good luck at the Wyndham this week. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I was a little lackluster today. Still gave it my best. It was I've been staring at this computer screen for the last 15 hours. So, life goes on. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Back.